Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my first roster coaching video. Due to a very generous donation by Viraled. Not sure how to pronounce it yet, actually. I'm actually going to be doing a full deep dive on his account, trying to give him pointers on what to do moving forward. So thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. And yeah, it's just viral.
Viraled, okay. So
Yeah, just
when
keep
did
it simple.
you make your account, first off?
I want to say around 2019, give or
Okay.
take. Yeah, I made it then, and I played for quite a while. Uh, I did get caught up in spending a little bit of money on it back then, and then I moved on to Raid Shadow Legends. But I did come back, and now I've been back for about a month, trying to really get caught up. The game's kind of gone quite a ways since I took my break, so now I'm just trying to get back in and get settled. So that's why I'm here for some coaching.
It has, yeah. It's really changed since then, and I could tell, I could kind of tell you about the hyperdrive bundle, and yeah, you have a really old account, which unfortunately works against you in the case of ships. Now, I don't know if the ship system is changing at all soon. I'm worried about it based on some of the communications he just put out. But I have a feeling that your ship arena or your fleet arena is really bad right now. What does it look like when you look at your top 50?
It's terrible. The lowest I've been able to get is around 363,000 up into the
Hmm.
400,000 range. So I generally just go in, put it on auto, take my loss, and get my daily done at this point. And arena is pretty much the same. I believe I'm in around the 500 range, but everybody's got full relic crazy gear. So again, it's
Yeah.
the same concept.
Well, so like when you look at the ranks on the top 50 of your fleet arena, do you see executors? Do you see leviathans, profundities?
I actually don't have mine pulled up. Give me a second, and
Yeah, sure,
I
because
will
that
pull it
that'll
up.
help me determine. Because it's kind of unfortunate that you pulled the trigger on the hyperdrive bundle here, because I might. One thing to consider is actually starting over a new account, because your account you have 6 gear 12 characters, no relics. And you have a really old Fleet Arena shard, which means you're not going to be able to likely make any progress on getting to a top 50. Because if you start in 2019, I'm assuming you have like the best of the best at the top of your Fleet Arena. So no matter what progress you make, you're years away from getting any kind of crystal income. And the Fleet Arena is a huge piece in the Fleet Arena income. And you don't have, like, with how fast things go now, you really don't have too much that you'd have to catch back up on if you start a new account. And if you start a new account and you get like a hyperdrive bundle, and then you don't even need to spend more than that. Just if you get a if the lightspeed bundles come around again, then you could get ahead like that. But if you are a spender, that is a way to leverage and get more income, because all you need to do is play fleets right at the beginning of the game, and then you can start getting ahead, generating that crystal income passively. And before you know, you're generating hundreds of dollars in crystals every month through that fleet arena.
That's really interesting. I actually do have another account. This account I made on an Android. I use iPhone
Hmm.
now, but I didn't even know I could recover it. I actually logged in on BlueStacks and it logged into my old account, but I do
Oh, wow.
have another one that does have the hyperdrive bundle. Uh, I'm not sure if I can recover that because I actually logged kicked off of that one to sync this one to my account, but I'm pretty sure I could get it back. But I do have a
So
newer one that does have hyperdrive.
newer, as in like when was that bought, or when did that account start? Because we're thinking about the
Probably
start date, huh?
maybe a month ago,
A month
give or
ago.
take.
Okay, okay, that's good. You might want to transition to that one, because I don't know if you know this, since I don't know how long you've spent in the game. Like, do you know how the Fleet Arena shards are generated?
Not entirely.
So, like, your squad arena and your fleet arena, it's like a constant, like, new ones pop up all the time. It's not like it's the whole world is in your shard. It's for fleet arena shards. They cap out at, like, I've heard 1,000, I've heard 2,500. So as soon as that many players hit level 60, they fill up the shard, the server. We just call it a shard, and then a new one will be created. So if you have, like in this 2019 account, you have a really old shard. You have players that have been playing for 4 years, 4 or 5 years, and they have like everything's built up. If you look at their rosters in the top 50, they're going to be outclassing you left and right. But if you start a new one, like if you go look at my Go Tanks account series, that Fleet Arena shard's really young, so it's like I'm not competing against relic pilots yet at all. So I'm even able to get 50 crystals a day on that account. I started January, like December 31st, January 1st, even though I haven't spent anything. I didn't even buy the hyperdrive. But like everyone else in there has bought it. And it's way more impactful right at the beginning of the game. You kind of skip a lot of the meat of the game because going from level 1 to 85 is pretty fun, and you learn the game, learn how it works. So there's something to be said for going back and starting out and just going 1 through 85, or at least 1 through 60 until you hit fleets and then get a hyperdrive. But right now, you're not really getting yourself anywhere like by doing that on an old account. And Fleet Arena is really the only thing where it's advantageous to have like a newer account. And there's other stuff that it's not really going to matter as much. But if you want to play like long term, it might be worth it to actually start over because there's not too much on this account right now to say, oh, we're going to stick around for it. You got Darth Vader at Gear 12, Thrawn, Palpatine, Han, Kylo Ren, and Hera at Gear 12. And if I'm looking at your mods, it doesn't look like you have much built up there as well. We got plus 79
Right.
speed on TIE Fighter Pilot. And speed is going to be the key stat we care about with mods. It's extremely important. Eventually, like where I'm at, like I care a little bit less about speed than I used to, but it's still very important. It's just like I have so much of it, I'm not worried. And they even highlight it on the mods now. Like if you look at, you got to really, the one mod I did click on is actually really good. It's a 21 speed on your Tarkin. But they started highlighting it now in yellow to stand out, just to signal to players that don't have as much experience that this is very important.
Right. That's just a
Uh,
really interesting take that starting a new account right now would outpace an older account like mine. When you look at Galactic Points Heaven, this one at 1.9, I think my other one is around 700 or 800K. So it
the
is
1 month old
fairly,
one.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, you might want to. You already bought the hyperdrive on that. You said
Yeah, I did.
you
Yep.
might want to make that just your main account and kind of forget about this one. I even have old accounts myself. I was a day one player in 2015, and I quit in I don't know April or May of 2016 because I was like, this game takes so long. You're never gonna get anywhere. Like, what do people play this game for years? Quit. Came back 3 years later. Was on that old account looking around, and I felt like, oh, I have so much progress on here. I don't want to waste it. But
Right.
I read around on forums, and everyone was like, "You gotta." And back then, Squad Arena had crystals too, so it was like doubles, Fleet Arena and Squad Arena, and people were saying, if you come back with an old account, you're never gonna get crystals. You're never gonna be able to grow. And I was like, oh, okay. Started that new account, grew so much. You can grow so fast now compared to like even 2019 when you were playing. All the shards that drop are doubled for older characters. Gear is doubled in most cases, so you can like really grow at a rapid pace. So I would almost just stick with that account. Do you have that ally code?
I could probably get that. It may take me a few minutes because I'd have to
Yeah.
log into
So
that one.
yeah, go ahead and grab that ally code. All right. So we took a break trying to get into Viral's other account. Not able to, but probably gonna just stick with this account for now. Then, just because of those difficulties. And Viral, what I was about to start explaining is the Lightspeed bundles. They're these packs that just started last September 2023 or something, and they have value that's hitherto unseen. Like before this, it was just ridiculous value. Like it makes the Hyperdrive bundle look like child's play. You can only buy it at level 85, so they do incentivize newer players to buy the Hyperdrive first. But you get if it's like $10, that's it, $10 or $20, or in some cases 50, and you get like a whole bunch of characters at relics and then completed ships at 7 stars. It's ridiculous. And when they come around, I don't know how. I'm not sure how long they last. I didn't buy any myself because on my main account I have everything already pretty much. Last like a week or something. You get like Relic 3, a bunch of characters of Relic 3 or Relic 5, and it's just such great value compared to anything else. And then at that point, you just have to worry about you're low on Zetas, you're low on mods, and that's really what you need to focus on. So you need to sink more energy maybe into mod farming, and just ensure you're doing as much as you can to get Zeta mats to catch up. So like, if you are willing to spend on the game, that is 100% what you should have your eyes fixed on. If you just like after this video, Google Lightspeed bundles or like look up on YouTube and see people talking about it. I have a video when they came out talking about it. They're just ridiculous value.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how to get one character to Relic 1.
Yeah,
Just looking at the amount of mats that it requires, I did see where you could pay like $100. I'm not paying $100 to just get one, Gear 13 character, but
right.
yeah,
Yeah, don't do
even
that.
having all these Gear 12 characters, looking at the pace it's going to take to just get one character to Gear 13 seems like months, months, and months and months away.
Yeah, I mean, you're
And then
actually
when I see it,
kind of
current accounts right
close.
now that have 11 to 12 million GP. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. My main account is close to 12 million. But that's just
yeah.
like every day, like maximizing resource income. So one thing you want to do, you want to get in a good guild, and I'm not sure how many, like, what's the GP of your guild, Clan Ascendant?
It's about 94 million.
94 million. Okay. How long have you been in that guild?
Maybe a week now.
Okay. Maybe try to get in the best guild you can. Probably stronger than this one. This one has one Galactic Legend in it. Look around. You have more. You have enough GP to like say, okay, I'm valuable. What you need to do is be able to ensure a guild that you'll get 600 tickets a day for raids, and as long as you do that and participate in things, you can get into like a much better guild. Because even on my small account right now, I'm in a guild that's 170 million GP. I actively contribute, even though I have a small account, because I get raid tickets every day. I actually communicate a lot on Discord, so there's value you can give. And if you're saying, hey, I will be buying Lightspeed bundles when they come out, then you're going to have a more robust roster when that comes around. And being in the guild, like a better guild, is way more important because the raid currency you get from the raids is largely what you need to leverage to get from Gear 12 to Gear 13. Now, there's other means too, like Shard Shop currency is great for the left side pieces. Like when you click on one of your Gear 12 characters, there's ones on the left. They're cheaper with Shard Shop currency than the ones on the right. Like you can get with that raid currency, and it goes a lot faster than you think. It doesn't take months to get one from Gear 12 to Gear 13, as long as you are in a good guild or just a decent guild. You don't have to be an amazing guild, but just one that's doing that the newest raid, which right now is the Endor raid.
Okay.
But there's a channel on my Discord server for that. Looking for a guild, so you can look around there. Some people have had luck just doing the guild search in game and just trying to find the largest one they can. They'll usually have join
Yeah,
requirements like at least a
yeah, that's
million
what I
GP or
did.
at least 2 million. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So when I was looking through there, it looked like they were looking for 6 to 7 million GP accounts. And when I did look at the raids and where their progression was at, it kind of made sense. So being at
Mhm.
like 1.6, 1.7 million, it seemed like getting into a 90 to 100 million GP guild seemed about where I should fall at. But even getting in there, I look at TW and whatnot, and I can't compete in any of that stuff. Like, on the raids, I was lucky to hit 100, 120,000. And, there was a guy, I don't remember in this guild, he cleared like 132 million. It's like, I'm kind of
Yeah.
far away from that. So I didn't really expect a 1.8, 1.9 million GP
So
account
which
to really,
raid are they doing? Your guild? Is it the Sith raid?
I believe, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I
Mm,
know what you mean by saying, okay, yeah, my GP times 50, like I think I could be in a 100 billion guild. You don't have to do that though. I mean, if you were generating raid tickets every day, that is like my guild, we have some like a lot of players in my guild have a lot more GP than me, but they aren't doing squat. They're not generating raid tickets. They're not even joining territory war. So they're not even generating positive value. Like if you can show a guild that you will get 600 tickets, and it's not that hard, it's just a few refreshes of energy a day, you can get into a much better guild than you would. And like the guild I joined, people think I got into the guild I'm in with my small account just because I'm a YouTuber, but it's not. That's not why. Like it's in an alliance I've been with for a long time, and they know I'm good. Like I'm good when I say I'll participate. They know I'm good for it. I actually got into this alliance with when I had a small account and didn't do YouTube in 2019, and I had less than a million GP. They required 2 million. I made my case. I said, look, I participate a lot. I know how to play, and got in that way without any prior connections. So you don't like the minimums I put is a guideline. I wouldn't try to get in one that says minimum 6 million GP, but if one says minimum 3 million GP or even maybe 4, I would at least try to get into one of those guilds. Because if you get into one that is even just doing the Endor raid, you're going to get max raid currency for the tier 1, and then for tier 2, well, assuming they get like one of the earliest boxes, you're going to get 9,750 of the tier 2 currency, which is, it gets you a lot of the way to getting a gear 13. And then the tier 3 currency is good too, but like the thing about this raid is the tier 1 and tier 2 currency maxes out really fast. So it really helps a lot. And then you get things like the furnaces that you see on the right side, the Mark 12 stun guns. It's a real big thing, really important to generate that income. Like if you're doing just Sith raid, I don't even know what their what the rewards are in Sith raid anymore. It could be the same thing. So are you doing are they doing heroic or normal Sith raid?
I want to say they were doing the heroic one, but it's just Darth Treya shards. And to be honest,
Okay.
I've only seen them do 1 or 2. That's about it. I haven't. They don't have raids going on all the time. They really are just like TW, and
I,
that's about all I see.
I think that's probably another problem. Like you can only launch the raid as you gain raid tickets, and you need people participating for that. So even if you have like a full guild, 50 members, and not everyone is getting their tickets, you're not going to be able to like run the raid more often. If your guild is getting 30,000 tickets a day, and I would try to check close to when like the guild reset is, whatever time that is for you, see how many tickets you have. If it's under 20,000, that's not good. Like that's a really slow pace. My main guild, we get close to 30,000 every day. My like alternative guild, or for my smaller account, we get like 24 million or 24,000 a day. Not perfect, but it's still like serviceable. So
Right.
that's like
So
actually probably a better gauge because Sith raid you don't get too much less of the Mark 1, Mark 2 currency, but you don't get the Mark 3, but it just depends how fast you're actually generating those tickets.
all right. I'm still gonna keep trying to get into that other account, but
Okay.
I feel like I almost deleted it.
Well,
Hopefully that's
if
not the case.
it's not, I mean, it's not hopeless for this account. The one thing working against you on it really is just Fleet Arena. Like, I don't know how long they're going to keep Fleet Arena in the current state it's at. Like, right now, it penalizes you for having an older account. But for like Squad Arena, it doesn't matter. Like, you're not getting credits in there or crystals in there. Your main generation for crystals right now is Grand Arena. So you want to try to build up. So let's talk about the actual roster choices to make. You want to build up a decent set of teams. A lot of people encourage rushing a Galactic Legend immediately, and I wouldn't recommend doing that unless there's like a Lightspeed bundle that gets you really far ahead in that regard. So right now your account, you have some good building blocks for some good teams. You have Emperor Palpatine team that's pretty much up and running. I would just recommend Darth Vader be your first relic as you work towards it. Because you already have
Yeah.
Merciless Massacre. He's going to make a huge impact for you. And then the Commander Luke Skywalker team, that's something you have largely up and running. So you want to build up, okay, Han's already gear 12. You want to build up Luke, try to get some Zetas for him. I don't see Chewbacca on your account, so you don't have him.
Nope.
To get him, you need a bunch of bounty hunters. And bounty hunters are a decent team on their own too. So I would work on your bounty hunters. Um, who you want to farm? You want to farm Bosk, and you want to farm his ship, Houndstooth. Those are some of the most impactful units out there, just bar none. Like Houndstooth, Bosk's ship is extremely good. And that doubles on it with Jango Fett, who's also good in his own right. Some of the Lightspeed bundles have had Houndstooth, but there's no guarantee that'll happen again. So you want to just start working on them. Boss is going to be your leader for bounty hunters. And then you want, you already have the Mandalorian unlocked. You want the Mandalorian, like the old one. He has like an insta-kill ability on him. And then you want Grief Karga. Boba Fett you can probably keep using because he's got a decent ship as well. And then probably Jango Fett in there as well. So those bounty hunters, Dengar is actually good for the unlock Chewbacca event unlock. But that'll give you a great team in bounty hunters. It's a great foundational team. You can use it in some assault battles. Or one. There's one specific assault battle you can use it in. And that will help you unlock Chewbacca. And Commander Luke, Han, Solo, and Chewbacca together are a force to be reckoned with. The fourth and fifth member on that team, one for sure, you want to use 3PO and Chewie. It's like Chewbacca from Empire Strikes Back when C-3PO got destroyed and he's carrying him on his back. It's kind of a ridiculous concept, but he's a great character. And then it looks like you have some Phoenix. And they have like Captain Rex, you have him unlocked to 2 stars. Put some gear on Captain
Yeah,
Rex.
I've been farming him every day, but I'm lucky if I get 2 or 3 of his shards per day, so it's not looking very good.
And that's okay. Because for him, it'll take forever to get him 7 stars, yes. But he is largely usable. Like, if you get him to, like, even if he's just 2 or 3 stars in Gear 11, his mechanics are so good. It takes the whole team to another level. I would rather have a Gear 8 2-star Rex than a 7-star Gear 12 Zeb on the team or something. Because he generates. So it's unique when you level it up. At any time any ally on the Phoenix team uses a special ability, everyone assists. So everyone's attacking every turn. It's kind of like Geonosians. I don't know if you use them or gone against them. But it's like what they call it is swarm attacks all the time. And Chopper's basic is resetting cooldowns, or has a chance to reset cooldowns when it hits. And it's hitting almost every single turn. So you have kind of an infinite loop. And Rex is generating turn meter. And you already have Hera, Sabine, like all the other Phoenix you have at 7 stars. So that's a great building block point. You just get Rex up to Gear 11. It's well worth the gear. He's going to take Kyrotechs. So Kyrotech is a gear piece that is on all newer characters released from like mid 2019 onwards. They're really, really annoying to deal with. They're one of the gear pieces that aren't double dropped. But he's worth it. So that'll get a team up and running for you. And we're trying to build a broader functioning roster for you to use in Grand Arena, because that is where you're generating your crystals. If you win out in a bracket, like if you win all 3, that's just as many crystals as if you won all 3 in Kyber 1. Like all the other crystal structure is different, but you can generate a lot more if you just have a bit of a broad base. Ships are also going to be super important, and you're going to be playing catch up there. And for ships, one of the other big reasons you want to get into a better guild as soon as you can, you want to get into a guild that's doing the Geonosis territory battle at least, so you can get guild event currency number 2 to farm either Negotiator or Malevolence. Now, I prefer Negotiator there as General Kenobi's ship for the Galactic Republic, but Malevolence is good too. That's Separatists. You already have Vulture Droid at 5 stars from the Hyperdrive bundle. You need Hyena Bomber for that. But I would leverage either. Oh, you can also go for like a Rebel fleet, like Home 1. Once you unlock Chewbacca, then you can go for the Millennium Falcon, piloted by Han and Chewie. And you just need bounty hunter ships for that. And you're mostly there from the Hyperdrive bundle. But Let me know if you want me to pause for a second because I'm throwing out a lot of names
No,
and squads and stuff. But
nope. I'm actually tracking on everything you're saying. Plus, I'm
okay,
gonna
awesome.
watch all of it back too, so and take plenty of notes.
Sure. Yeah, you will have the video record or something, so I guess you could. Yeah, you always go back to it. Yeah, so from the Hyperdrive bundle, you start with Xanadu Blood, Slave 1, IG 2000. You just need one more bounty hunter ship, which for most people is Houndstooth, and that's what I already talked about with Bosk. So you have those 4 ships at 5 stars. I think that's all you need for to unlock Millennium Falcon. And then like you want to look for as many synergies as possible, like as many characters that will benefit you in a multitude of game modes. So Han and Chewie are amazing. They're amazing for PVE content, PvP. They have an amazing capital ship or amazing ship. And then you only right now in Carbonite and I think Bronzium, you only need 2 fleets. You need an offense fleet and a defense fleet. And right now for you, Negotiator is going to be pretty far out of reach for a while. So you should try to get the Millennium Falcon, run it with Big Starklighter, and probably right now you might want Ghost in the starting lineup. But you try to go for other ships like probably not Outrider, but the Rebel Y Wing is a pilotless ship. It's worth working on, although that takes a while. So in the meantime, once you get Millennium Falcon, it's incredible. Um, it's an assist machine, which is it's kind of like what we talked about with Phoenix, that just assisting all the time. It has like a 50% chance to assist whenever a rebel uses an ability, and then on its basic, it calls another ally to assist. So it's like swarm attacks and fleet, which is really effective. And then the Empire fleet. So you already have Thrawn. He's gear 12. He's pretty built up. You have TIE Advance times 1. You have Imperial TIE Fighter. That's the building blocks. But you also want to farm the TIE Bomber for that fleet. And I would suggest Iden Versio's ship, TIE Defender. That will take some time to get to. So in the meantime, you just have to make do with what you have. But that is, I consider it the best standalone ship in the game. And I'm farming it even on my brand new account. I don't have used to it yet, but it takes a while to get there, so I know I got to start now, and then I'll get there eventually. So yeah, all that stuff stacks, and Iden Versio is a great character on her own too. So like, I look for characters that are both great in the ground game and then great in ships, and that is great value there. So we're talking about bounty hunters, your rebels, Millennium Falcon. I think Galactic Republic is also great to work on. Now let's see what your Galactic Republic looks like. Okay, so you have Yoda, Anakin, Ahsoka, Gear 11. I'm not seeing Padme. I do see Mace
Yeah,
at Gear 10. So,
I'm one fight away from getting Padme. I just
oh, nice.
that team that I have is not strong enough to take down that one. But I am at the last one to get her last 45 shards to unlock her. I did
Ah, nice.
try. I did get Nuke Runway to 7 stars. I just haven't geared any of it. But I know the characters I do have for that battle aren't strong enough to kill it yet.
Right.
I have been kind of hoarding the resources, and mostly because I don't know with the limited resources I have, and there's so many characters that could take everything you own and wipe you clean. I don't know what's the best way to disperse the resources that I have to specific characters that will get me further faster. So I
Hmm.
kind of been just sitting on them, waiting to see who I should be, putting all that stuff on and gearing up accordingly.
Yeah, and I mean that's smart. You want to make sure you're putting them into good characters. I think it might be bounty hunters first off. Like putting it into bounty hunters right now, it's going to help you in fleets and get Chewbacca, who's going to help you on land and fleets. So I think the bounty hunters first. Padme is important. Right now, well, you could run a Galactic Republic fleet too, just with Mace. I mean, I use Mace. His capital ship used to be terrible. It used to be the worst, but he got a rework, so he is much better now. Yours is at 5 stars. So you can level a lot of the abilities up. It just depends. Like Prestige is the ability material you use to upgrade capital ships, so you got to
Just
be
spent
wise with that.
most of
Go
it
ahead.
on. Yeah, I just spent pretty much all of it. I had thousands and
Oh
I
wow.
unlocked Thrawn's capital ship, and then I dumped every resource I had into it, and now I'm thinking maybe that wasn't the smartest thing to do.
No, no, I mean he's got a great ship. Like I don't think that's terrible. I forget like what you have his ultimate max, and his ultimate is amazing. I forget what the increment levels did to it, so maybe it wasn't best value. Um, you got a level 6 on the basic. Yeah, so you got to pick. You got to decide. Okay, you want to use Chimera. I think that's great. Use Chimera with your Empire ships, and then for now your Bounty Hunter ships. I think just like basically a Dark Side fleet. That's going to be one of your fleets because you already have a lot sunk into it, and they're good. They're pretty good. Not only do Bounty Hunter ships help with Millennium Falcon, eventually down the road, use them to unlock Executor, which is an amazing capital ship and actually has synergy with Bounty Hunters. Um, and then so you got that Thrawn fleet, and then you got to pick. Try to look at footage, since you're not as exposed to how all these work as a lot of other players yet. Try to look at footage of like Home One working with Millennium Falcon, or Mace Windu working with like Galactic Republic. Uh, I think it might be Home One you want to sink more resources into because you don't have Anakin's ship. That takes a while to farm. Um, I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
you
farming
might.
that now.
Yeah. So both endurance and home one get phased out eventually. I think it's easier to get negotiator than profundity. Profundity replaces home one because it's a rebel capital ship, and it's way better. And then negotiator replaces Mace's fleet because it's a Galactic Republic and it's way better. So like they both will get replaced eventually. That's why I like that you invested in the Thrawn. He's the one that you're not really going to cast aside ever. I still use him all the time. I do not use Endurance or Home One on my main account, so that do not regret that. But you did, yeah, pick Galactic Republic or Rebels. Lean into one or the other. Um, Rebels might be better. I'm not sure. Mesa ship is pretty awesome as well. So yeah, first thing with resources, bounty hunters and Galactic Republic. Yeah, it is really valuable. It's up to you if you want to work on that. To unlock Padme, when you do decide to do it, I think you should farm Geonosian Brood Alpha. He's on a Cantina node. He's on in like Sector 8. He's one of the more expensive ones, but he's amazing. If you don't have experience with him, all you need to do is get him to like level 72, and his leader ability juices up the whole team for 15,000 health and protection, like every character, no matter what. Like it's one of the only flat stat boosts in the game. Like usually it's like a percentage, but that would like double the hit points of your Geo Soldier right now. And they're a mass swarming team, so you just need to add finish off Sunfac, add Poggle or you already have Poggle. Get Geonosian Spy, and then that team's awesome on ground game. That will help you get into a better guild once you have a strong Geonosian team, because they are required for a special mission to unlock Wat Tambor. If you don't know Wat Tambor, he's like a weird character from the Attack of the Clones, who's in that meeting with Newt Gunray. But he gives a bonus turn at the start of his turn and gives off all these texts. He's an amazing character. He's a non-combat character like C-3PO or Hermit Yoda, but you can use them anywhere. And the Geonosians are pretty important in that regard too. So they could be second on my list actually, and then they have good ships, and you already have Geonosian ships. You have your soldiers already at 7 stars, so the more you invest in him, that's a decent ship. Sunfac's ship is decent. Spy's ship is decent too. So it's hard to know where to start, but I think those are good starting points.
Okay. Yeah, I was
Um,
looking at unlocking C3PO, and my Ewok team is okay. They need a lot of work, and I think I still need to get Wicket another star or two before I could actually unlock my
oh, oh
C3PO.
wow, yeah, you are pretty close actually. He's someone I'm gonna wait a long time to get on my newer account because I don't want to farm the Ewok so fast. Um, but like, yeah, you're really close. I mean, it's not the right con. So Ewok Scout is more or less useless. Tebow is also not very good. So I don't know how it'll work unlocking at 5 stars with that group you have there. That being said,
Not
Logray and
very like.
Patblue are way better and they're easier to farm in the raid store. Um, so that's the common lineup. Like people, like back in the day, everyone would use Chirpa, Wicket, Logray, Paplu, and Ewok Elder. Now we have Princess Nisa, who's way better than all of them, but she's not accelerated yet. So I don't think there's a huge rush on C3PO, but you are really close, so it might be worth it to try. People did get a 7 star with all Gear 9 on their Ewoks back in the day. I don't know how bad the 5 star is. Um,
I'd
but
really
yeah, like
rather work towards Padme and getting her unlocked.
yeah. I think Padme is way more impactful. It gives you a whole extra team. Because right now that Galactic Republic, they don't really have a good leader. Oh, and another thing, like I can't believe I haven't talked about yet. You want to start working towards Jedi Knight Revan too. He's a really easy unlock, and he helps you put together a lot of the Jedi and use them well. You already have Bastila at 5 stars, but you need Jolie Bindo, who's he's got a good node actually. He has Carbantes on it, Mark III Carbantes, and that's a gear piece that's needed by pretty much everyone all the time. So it's not really a huge sacrifice to farm his node. Then you need Mission Zalbar, it's the Twi'lek and the Wookiee. They're on the same node, the same hard energy node. And then when you have all them close to 7 stars, then you can just finish off T3M4, who's in Cantina node. The Cantina nodes you can wait till later to do, just because there's no limit on how many times you can sim them. So you can just like that's your last stop on the farm. Um, so he's another great early easy character to unlock to just have your mind on. Right now, it's just going to be farming shards, not really investing gear, because you don't need high gear on those characters. You just need Bastila. You can just put gear on Bastila and Jolie, and they grant you a Revan in that event to use. That can help beat it a lot for you, and you can just kind of ignore gear on T3, Dalbar, and Mission for the most part. So that's like something you don't have to worry about your resources. Just farm those nodes over time.
Okay.
Um, any questions right now? I know I've been saying a lot so far.
No, I've been tracking because I've been looking at every single node and every single character and then trying to watch more content to see which ones. But, everyone's got their own take on things as well. Um, but mostly like kind of just looking at where I'm at specifically and what my path going forward and what I should be farming is what I was really interested in. And
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna have to like keep this one. I don't think I could get into the other account. If I ever do, I'll
No,
make the
yeah.
swap over. But I have to assume I'm invested in this one at this point.
Nah, yeah,
But
that's fine. I mean, you already bought some crystals on this account, so you have that. Just what are you spending your crystals on when you have them?
just energy refreshes. I
Okay,
don't
good.
I don't buy anything else in the stores. I've seen some of the parts of your videos too that talks about that, and some other ones that says don't try to buy character shards in the store, even though
Hmm.
it's may look like a good deal. So I'm only spending my crystals for just energy refreshes, and I'm generally going through the 50 refresh portion, and then when it hits the 100, I stop for the day.
Okay, perfect. That's just what I wanted to double check on that you're using that for those purposes.
And
Another
then
beginner. Sorry.
I was gonna say, and then for the mod challenges, I've only been doing the speed mods. So I just go in there and I go to tier 3 and I just sim however much energy I have for that. I don't know if that's the correct way to do it, but that's what I assumed I should be doing.
That is largely the correct way to do it. I would also try to get kind of a supplemental mod set farmed in there as well, like health or defense. Like one of those that you only need 2 mods in the set to get the set bonus. Because you have speed as your main set, you only need 4 of them to get the speed bonus, and then you have room for another set. So I would maybe do like 2 out of 3 times you're hitting speed, and then 1 out of 3 you're hitting health or something. Um,
Okay.
But yeah, like what's more important is the secondary speed on the mod. Like the set bonus is nice, but it's a fixed thing. It doesn't really matter what mod you have, just as long as you have those 4 mods, you get the speed bonus. Um, but one other faction to focus on, like I didn't recommend it in my free to play farming guide anymore. I moved to a Phoenix route, but Imperial Troopers are very valuable. And since this isn't a free to play account, you got the Hyperdrive bundle and everything. They are very much worth working on. So you want to farm Admiral Piet and then Dark Trooper. You already have Veers at 5 stars. Um, you get Veers. I would use Moff Gideon in there too, and Dark Trooper. You have those 3 unlocked. Moff Gideon and Dark Trooper don't have much progress on them. Moff Gideon's an easy farm. He's in Cantina. But then you want Admiral Piet and then a 5th. Most people use Range Trooper. I think he's great too. So that'd be an amazing team. That's going to help you in a variety of ways. That's a team you don't need. You don't need tons of stuff on them. I would only if you only get like Dark Trooper to relics, and then you have good speed on your Admiral Piet, then you can take out a lot of stuff, like a lot of full relic teams, just because you can run circles around them as long as you have like Piet Zeta. So that is very much worthwhile to get. Again, people get on me for not recommending Imperial Troopers to brand new players, but it's like in the very beginning you choose a path. You kind of choose a Phoenix path or an Imperial Trooper path. But for you, definitely that's another team to keep your eye on. It might be a little confusing looking at newer content because a lot of the players that make videos have really large older accounts and they have a lot of new characters, so it is hard to sift through. But most of these
Yeah.
teams I'm recommending to you, they're older characters. They're easier to gear up. They're easier to obtain with the shards, and they're still great. So it's more bang for your buck and more fast progress. As characters become accelerated, it's better for you. Captain Rex will be accelerated at some point this year, so you'll probably still be farming him by the time he gets accelerated. And then there's a bunch of unaligned force users that are going to get accelerated this year, like Seer Junda and Baby Cal Kestis, as we call him.
I've been farming
Just
his node too. And
Cal
Admiral Piet, I
Kestis.
just started today.
Okay, yeah, Piet, yeah, is great. You've been farming Cal Kestis's node?
I just started. I've been allocating some energy to it. It gets tough because there's, 20, 30, 40 characters to work on, and you only have so much energy per day. So then it just becomes of like prioritization of,
Yes.
okay, I need X shards and I allocate X amount to this, but then I only pull one. This one I maybe pull two or three, but then I'm out of energy. But then there's still 17 characters left that I didn't make any shard progression on for today. So then it's more of like, how do I prioritize? And if I'm prioritizing, do I just stick to those specific ones until I reach where I need to be with them and then move to the next one? Or is it kind of putting a lot of eggs in a lot of baskets and then hopefully you have a dozen at some point?
For a Cantina, it is very much all eggs in one basket at a time. Because the reason you farm a lot of different characters in normal energy is because you're capped at 5 attempts per node. No such
Mm.
thing in Cantina. You can just hit it until the cows come home. You really just go all in on one. I would not do Cal because he's not accelerated. Like when you get his shards, it's only one. You're getting and you don't. He doesn't really fit into anything you need right now. So I would give up on Baby Cal. Um, One thing I think Geonosian Brood Alpha is probably your top priority right now. He's in Sector
Okay.
8.
Yeah,
He's
I'm looking at it right
8D.
now. AD. Yeah,
Yeah, so
8D.
I mean, once you get him, he's basically 2 characters. He summons a brute who acts as a tank on the team. So you get the Geonosians, and I would also you need spy for that team to work. You do not need them super developed before you start seeing results. So I would unlock GBA, gear them up to whatever you can, 8, whatever. Go back at spy, then you have that whole team working.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I just bought Genosha and Spies shards today from the store. You
okay,
can
yeah,
see.
just try to get it the old fashioned way in the cantina. But when I look around the cantina, there's actually not too much that entices me. You already have your Phoenix characters. Um, some of them you already have CLS done. So yeah, GBA really screams out to me. Maybe Moff Gideon. Once you start working on your Imperial Troopers more. Yeah, there's a lot of chaff in there that you don't have to worry about. It doesn't fit into anything. Yeah, I don't. Dash Rendar is cool. Yeah, definitely.
We're working on
Geo
things.
Brood
Yeah,
Alpha
I've
is an
been
easy call. Geonosians are super slam dunk easy call for you right now.
Yeah, I fought one of those teams and I got absolutely annihilated. I don't even think I
Mm-hmm.
took more than one turn, and their whole team were just taking turn after turn, and this was like my best fully geared team at like 100K, and it was it was like at maybe 90,000, and it wasn't even fun. I just put on auto and just watched them just demolish me.
Oh, for sure. I in 2019 when I started doing Grand Arena with like a small account, I had a CLS team. They were all like I don't know gear 8 or 9, or maybe even 10. And there was a Geonosian team that was all gear 6, so they had the blue gear. I was like, oh, this is easy. They just destroyed me like that, and it's because of Geobrood Alpha. Like if you look at his leadership and then just go to like level 72. Right, like it only needs purple mats to upgrade. It's not even an omega ability. He gives you I already mentioned it earlier, 15,000 max health and protection for everyone, which is just insane. And then his unique, everyone's assisting, and when you have all the Geonosians there, you're getting like tenacity down, ability block, and they're kind of generating turn meter. And you got six characters attacking you. So it's crazy. You'll have a lot of fun with them, whether you use it on offense or defense.
Nice. All right. Yep. I will actively push to get him done then.
Yeah. I think we have a good starting point for you actually at that. Do you have any other questions about what to use which resources on?
Yeah, so two more things really then. One, shipments. How
Okay.
should I be allocating things in the shipments from where I'm at and where I need to go? I have 78 million credits and I have 9,500 crystals, just so you have a reference of where I'm sitting at. And then for Squad Arena, I have almost 19,000. Galactic War, I have 14,000. Fleet Arena,
Okay.
16,000.
Okay. So Galactic War, I think that's easy. You want to get ships. Um, it doesn't really, even really matter which ships. I don't know if you have a or 7-star Biggs. If you don't, you want him 7-star. You want Poggle, the lesser 7-star.
I have
Uh,
his ship at 7 star, and I have Biggs at 7 star.
okay. Do you have Poggle at 7-star?
The character I do, yes.
Okay. Um, Yeah, I know. I saw you had 7-star. Most of these you don't worry about. Like you just buy ships and like just try to get all the ships at 7 stars. It's the cheapest place to get them. Even after they're 7 stars, buying ships is the best way to get charge up currency compared to the characters because 4 ship shards or blueprints they call them gives you more charge up currency than 10 character shards. So just
Oh,
spam
that's good to know.
ships until you have something else you need to buy. On my main account, I don't even look. I just like every day after I sim Galactic War, I just buy the 3 top ships, and that's there's 3 ships there at the time, and that's it. I would not buy mods from the mod store for you. You have a good nest egg of credits, but just use that to level up characters and level up mods as you're working on them. It takes like I don't know, I forget if it's like 6 million or 8 million to get a character from level 1 to 85, but it adds up
It's like
fast.
6.8 million, somewhere around that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that's for that. Squad Arena, Prestige. You should be buying tons and tons of Prestige right
I
now. So
buy
you
the
already have.
10 every few hours it comes up to try to
Okay,
rebuild my nest
perfect.
egg.
Okay, nice. Yeah, and you already got Newt 7 stars. Um, IG88 is fine. Oh, Savage.
I
Do you
have
have Savage? Oppress.
uh yes.
You
I
need
have
to.
everybody in the store maxed out. The only person I don't have
Uh,
maxed out is Ugnaught, Greedo, Underworld Police, ETH Koth. That's it. Everyone else in the
well,
store I have maxed out.
well, they're crap, so don't worry about them. But if you have Savage 7-star, get him his Omicron and get him to however high gear
How
you
do you do
can.
that part?
So
I've seen the
Omicrons,
Omicron. I don't know much about it yet. You can. I'm a noob.
do you have any Omicron materials yet?
I don't even know how to check for that, to be honest.
So go to Cantina and go to Sector 8. Click on one of the signal data nodes, and then there's an Omicron as a possibility to drop. You can click on it there.
I have 4.
4. Okay. So the galactic challenges are things that happen. Um, they're twice a week, and you can get though the one today. I don't know if you attempted it yet. It's bonuses for rebels, and it's actually really easy. So you should knock that out. And as long as you get like the 4th box or something, you are gonna get an Omicron material. Once you start getting to the later boxes, you get 2 at a time. So that's how you get Omicrons. And I would recommend Savage Press be your first Omicron. He's a one-man team. Like he works well in a trio team, but he's a straight up one man team. So he's another character. You don't even have to worry about like a full team. You could throw him on a Palpatine team, I guess, if you want. You have that infrastructure. Yeah, just throw him there. I also have, if you already have all the character shards, I have videos on shipment efficiency. Just
Okay,
like
go back
search
and watch
peak
that.
efficiency shipments, and I have videos on that. But you're doing the right thing with the prestige, with Cantina. Um, if you have everything, all the characters there, you can. What I do, I buy Cassian's U-wing for shard sharp currency. But if you're strapped for shipbuilding materials or like ship credits, as people call them, you can get that too. So either extra Cassian's U-wing shards for shard sharp currency or shipbuilding materials in that store.
Gotcha. My last question on this would just be, as far as modding
Hmm.
characters, I'm really lost because there's so many different ways to mod so many different people. Is there like a structure that you just follow, or is it you just have to research every individual character and try to go for that? And plus, I see, videos of like get plus 25 plus speed mods and all the other stuff, and I'm like, I don't even know
Hmm.
how to get more than like a 10, 12 speed mod. So I don't even know how people are managing to get 590. It's the highest I think I've seen speed on a character, but um I figure it's
Yeah,
going to
that
be an overwhelming task to go through and work on all of my mods for all the characters that I have right now. It just seems like a mundane task. Is there like a tactical approach to me fixing my mods for my characters? Because I assume they're hindering the performance of what my teams can do.
Yeah, so I mean, there is a way to look at what people are generally using on each character. If you're not, if you're looking at a character, you have a character you want to mod well, you're not sure what to do. You can go to Swigeta.gg and go to units, characters, look up that character, and then click best mods, and it shows what like the best players in the game are using. As far as sets, the primaries, it doesn't go into like secondaries. But it just comes from overall game sense, like learning what a character is going to benefit from. I'm trying to pull your account back up here. That's not the number. Um, but hold on a second. But yeah, I would just prioritize the best character you have, or like that's really key for you, and work on their mods first. Because like every team has kind of a linchpin. For you right now, like the Palpatine team you have the most built up, Darth Vader is the linchpin there. Like you already have a Zeta. When he takes a turn, you can pop Merciless Massacre and he gets, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 turns in a row. He's
Yep.
a damage dealer. You want either an offense set or crit damage set. Alternatively, people do use speed set. I only recommend that if you're gonna get him need to get him fast enough to pass a threshold so that he gets out first and wins. Like against Geonosians, you need him to get out first. Right now, you have all health mods on him. Probably not the best. Only plus 80 speed. So his arrow is decent. I don't think it has too many stats that feed into him. The absolute best single mod primary you can get for a damage dealer is crit damage triangle. So anytime you see a crit damage triangle, super valuable. Offense crosses are valuable. So on the right side of mods, those are the ones that have a very diverse amount of primary stats.
Okay.
So that's where you have the biggest variety. On the left side, the square is always offense. the diamond or the diamond, sideways, square, whatever you want to call it, is always defense, and then the circle is either health or protection. So those you're not really focused on the primary as much. Just look for speed and roll it up. On the triangle and cross, you want to have good synergy. So for like speed and health sets, you can make use of pretty much any primary as long as it has good speed. Like someone can use them. But if you have like an offense set, you want one of the offensively minded primaries. Like that's why offense sets with the offense primary on a cross is valuable. Like an offense set with crit damage triangle is really valuable. Things like that. And then like if you have a tank, survivability. I think defense sets with protection primaries is the best thing you can do with a tank. Now I'm not seeing too many tanks in your roster right now at all. Maybe fives. So you might not need to focus on that as much. Like Commander Luke, you can go with offense. A lot of people do offense and tenacity, but that's just because 3PO and Chewie shares CLS's tenacity. But you don't have him yet. So like either speed or offense on him, like speed sets. Right now you have crit chance, which isn't the worst if you have a low level one, but he already gets a lot of crit chance when you do call to action. He gets 50% crit chance. I'll go for offense set and well, like a crit damage secondary set is probably good for him too, but not like everything is crit chance sets.
Right.
Um,
So, so looking at my current roster right now, when you see
mhm.
what I have as far as 7 stars and where they're all geared, is there anyone in this lineup that I should be focusing on taking up to higher than what they are? Because I am going to try to figure out what my best team compositions are based on what I do have while I work on what you've recommended me to get. But looking at what I have, I could probably move some of these up another level or two, but I just don't even know who to really work on at this point from the 7 stars that I do have and where they're at.
Yeah. So for the 7 stars you have, probably the best characters I'm seeing that aren't at Gear 12 yet. Commander Luke Skywalker, Grandmaster Yoda, which you should probably run under a Bastila Shan lead until you get Revan. Jedi
Yeah,
Knight Anakin. Sorry.
yeah. See, I need to get that character. I've been seeing people run it, and I need to get that one.
Yeah, I like the protection up she gives is pretty insane. You already have her at 5 stars. Yeah, she's a great leader. Um, Scrolling down, Boba Fett's gonna be part of a larger bounty hunter team, so he could use some love. But you need the whole team worked on right now. Mace Windu is great. Um, Captain Rex, even though he's 2 stars, like if you get him gear 11, the stars isn't really concerned. The stars are just a gate that prevent you from getting gear 12. But yeah,
That's good.
oh, and Savage Press, you already have a 7 star, but I talked about him. High priority. But yeah, you actually don't have too much that it's like, oh, you gotta work on him. There's a lot of characters that are kind of just filler from Hyperdrive bundle.
Yep.
Yeah, so those those are my recommendations from everything I looked at. And then Darth Vader is a great candidate for your first Gear 13.
Yep. He's what I'm focusing on. So I just
Yeah.
need to figure out what's going to be the best path to get there because I feel like right now it's gonna take light years to get there at this pace. I mean, I did fill the left side already for him, as well
Yeah.
as Thrawn, but looking at the right side and when I go to get the materials and like click on one, click on that, go to farm it, and I get like I spend 120 energy and I get two for the salvage pieces.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's something when like on the farming nodes, it's like best to adopt a mentality of like I will never get anywhere with this, but I'll still hit it every day, not think about it, and then eventually, oh look, I have it. But buying the shipments of different things is a big deal too. So I know it feels like it'll take forever, but it's not that bad
That's
in
why
the
when I see
end.
people with like 50 plus relic or Gear 13 characters, I'm just like, how many millenniums did that take to get to? Or
I
is
Yeah,
there
I
something?
know. I know the feeling. I mean, you could follow my a great tool for you. Like I have my new account that I'm working on. I have like weekly updates at least. Um, it's not
Yeah, I
so
watched a
far
couple
off
of
from
your
this.
videos.
Yeah, like it's. I mean, you have 1.5, actually just 1.4 million GP more than me on that account. But I'm going through those early priority teams. So that's a lot of the teams I already talked about with you: Phoenix, Jedi, Bounty Hunters, the Emperor Palpatine team, which you have. So those are like the both the cheapest, easiest to get, and most impactful for like a new account or like just building things up. So if you kind of somewhat mirror my decision making there, it's not gonna always gonna be a perfect analog, but it kind of helps evaluate. But yeah, so I think you got plenty to work on. I think building the balanced roster first is way more important than chasing a galactic legend. Because say you chase Supreme Leader Kylo Ren like the old way, and you don't buy a bundle that has all his characters. You spend like all your resources for like a year, like a very long time, on just boring first order characters that like compared to everything most other things kind of suck, and it's not fun. So I am not a fan of those approaches. You do need to pick big unlocks to go for eventually, but I think kind of getting a nice base because there's a lot of things in the game where it demands you to have a variety of a roster. The Galactic Challenges are an example. Like it's gated behind faction. That's how you get your Omicrons. Conquest. There's a lot of different feats, and if you have a wide variety of factions, it can help you work on that and stuff like that. So, um, getting the broad base and like for the raid structure, we never know what the next raid's going to be and requires new characters. So it's not just a one team thing anymore. Like back when Squad Arena was how you got crystals and you just wanted a
Yep.
galactic legend. The big thing is like fleets and having kind of a broad roster, picking the best Gear 13 for each team. So like that's Darth Vader on that Palpatine team. On a Jedi team, I think it's Yoda on a Commander Luke Skywalker team. They're actually pretty good, pretty even between him, Han, and Chewie. But Han and Chewie have the ship, the amazing ship. So they're a good focus for relics. On a Bounty Hunter team, Bosk is the tank, and he has an amazing ship. So he's like a key for relics. So like usually get like those single relics that really help one teams a lot before you start focusing on a galactic legend or a character that requires tons of relics because it's going to take forever to do that and really kill
Hmm.
your motivation along the way.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Lastly, what about Mara Jade? Is she someone I need to worry about?
Oh, she's amazing. Yeah, she's incredible. She's a match made in heaven for Emperor Palpatine. She's actually probably should have mentioned her too. She's similar to Rex. Like she's gonna need Kyrotex to get her gear up, even though she's low stars. You don't even really need Zetas on her. Like put her with Palpatine 100%. She is incredible.
Okay, because I've been working on hers as well. I unlocked her.
Hmm.
I'm just about halfway to 3 stars. But if you're saying she's like Rex, then um, I'll get her to 3 stars for now, and then I'll gear her up and stick her with Palpatine, as well as I'll put Rex on the Phoenix team
Yeah, I
and
mean
just
keep
keep
farming her
from there.
shards. You don't have to stop farming shards at 3 star, but it's like you could start using her that early. I mean, she's incredible.
Wow, that's really good. Awesome. Well, I have plenty to work on, so I really appreciate it, man.
All right, yeah, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it too. This was fun. And I'm sure the viewers enjoy this kind of in-depth discussion as well. But yeah, thanks again, man. Happy to have you on.
Awesome. All right. Take care, and hopefully you get some more coaching sessions in. Your videos are awesome, and keep pumping out really great content, man. We all enjoy it out here. So thanks for everything you put out for this community. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. Thanks for the kind words. All right, thanks everyone.